Hey everyone, welcome back to Zen Otaku. Today I've got a special video for you, one that's going to keep you hooked until the very end. We're diving deep into the top 10 fantasy anime of 2025, a hand-picked selection full of insane action, magical worlds, mysterious intrigues, and even some hilarious adventures. And listen, this isn't just a basic list. Here, you'll get to understand what makes each anime shine, why it stood out this year, and what to expect if you haven't watched it yet. So buckle up, because this journey through fantasy worlds is going to be epic. 1. Solo Leveling: Arise from the Shadow, Season 2. Imagine a world filled with portals leading to monster-infested dimensions. Now, imagine being the weakest hunter of them all, constantly underestimated. That's Sung Jinwoo at the start of his journey. But in Solo Leveling, everything changes when he awakens powers that completely flip his life upside down. In Season 2, called Arise from the Shadow, Jinwoo is no longer the underdog. He's now the legendary Shadow Monarch, commanding an army of shadows. But with that insane power comes even bigger threats, dangerous enemies, and revelations that could change humanity's fate forever. What makes this season stand out in 2025 is the epic scale of the battles. The fights are huge, full of emotion, and animated with jaw-dropping quality. Plus, watching Jinwoo grow, not just in strength but in responsibility, keeps fans hooked from start to finish. Tier 2, The Apothecary Diaries, Season 2. If you think fantasy is only about swords and magic, The Apothecary Diaries will prove you wrong. The story follows Mao Mao, a young woman raised as the daughter of an apothecary, who ends up working in the Imperial Palace. She's curious, intelligent, and even in a place full of rules and dangers, she uses her knowledge to solve mysteries. Season 2 dives even deeper into palace intrigues. Mysterious illnesses, silent conspiracies, and secrets hidden within the palace walls make the story more and more intense. The pacing might feel slower at times, but that only builds suspense and realism. This anime deserves a spot in the top list because it shows that fantasy can also be about politics, suspense, and mystery. It creates a richly detailed world, with captivating characters and dilemmas that go beyond physical battles. It's fantasy that hooks both your mind and your heart. 3. Dandadan. Now let's talk about some beautiful chaos. Dandadan is that anime that mixes everything: comedy, the supernatural, urban legends, and bizarre creatures. Here, the unexpected happens all the time, and that's exactly what makes the series so fun. The characters constantly face situations that swing between terrifying and hilarious, battling supernatural beings while cracking jokes that completely shift the tone. Each episode leaves you wondering if you'll laugh, get shocked, or feel chills running down your spine. What sets Dandadan apart in 2025 is its originality. It doesn't follow tired formulas and instead delivers a wild, energetic visual spectacle with crazy battles and sharp humor. It's perfect for fans who like their fantasy fresh and unpredictable. 4. Kaiju number 8. Picture living in a world under constant attack from colossal monsters. Kaiju. Now imagine finding out you can transform into one yourself. That's the dilemma faced by the protagonist of Kaiju number 8. This anime balances destructive kaiju action with a heartfelt story showing the hero's human side. He struggles with responsibility, fear of losing control, and the pressure to protect those he loves. It makes the top list because it blends adrenaline and emotion so well. The battles are spectacular, but the real hook is the heart of the story. Characters you truly care about, facing real dilemmas in the middle of chaos. 5. Delicious in Dungeon. If you love RPG vibes and dungeon crawling, Delicious in Dungeon is a feast, literally. Here we follow a group of adventurers exploring dangerous dungeons, fighting monsters, surviving traps, and cooking what they find along the way to keep themselves alive. This mix of classic fantasy with humor and creativity makes the show incredibly fun. You're not just watching battles and exploration, but also clever solutions and group dynamics that make the characters shine. In 2025, it's even more popular because it proves fantasy doesn't always need to be dark or intense. It can be lighthearted, charming, and deliciously entertaining. 6. Witch Watch. Want fantasy with a romantic twist? Witch Watch is just the thing. The story mixes magic, romantic comedy, and school life vibes full of funny situations. The protagonist is a young witch trying to live a normal life, but of course her powers always cause chaos. The series balances the supernatural side with character relationships, blending lighthearted comedy with sweet, heartwarming moments. It's an anime that makes you laugh, swoon, and just enjoy the ride. In a year packed with heavy anime, Witch Watch stands out as a lighter fantasy that still delivers quality, with charming characters and fun storytelling. 7. Princession Orchestra. Princession Orchestra proves fantasy and music can go hand in hand. The story takes place in an enchanted world where music is a source of power, and the characters must use it to face challenges and protect their kingdom. The real charm lies in the aesthetics, dazzling visuals, performances that feel like magical concerts, and a soundtrack that hits right in the feels. The anime also explores how art can be both a weapon and a source of emotional strength. It deserves a top spot for bringing something fresh to the table, a fantasy that's not about swords or monsters, but about magic through music and emotion. 8. Devil May Cry, 2025 animated series. Based on the legendary game franchise, Devil May Cry came back in 2025 with a new animated adaptation that oozes style. We follow Dante, the coolest demon hunter of all time, as he faces supernatural threats in high-octane battles. The anime delivers everything fans hoped for: wild action, intense soundtracks, and a dark aesthetic that fits the story perfectly. It also gives a hit of nostalgia for longtime fans of the franchise. It makes the list because it proves urban fantasy, with demons lurking in the shadows of our world, still has plenty of power to excite anime fans today. 9. Sword of the Demon Hunter, Kijin Gentosho. If you like dark, serious fantasy full of dilemmas, Kijin Gentosho is for you. Set in an older era, it tells the story of warriors battling demons and supernatural forces threatening to destroy everything. The tone here is heavy. Characters face sacrifices, harsh choices, and a world that doesn't allow easy victories. The visuals reflect that darkness, with atmospheric settings and brutal battles that keep you on edge. It makes the top list because it delivers a raw, emotional kind of fantasy that doesn't shy away from the shadows. It's for fans who want weight and intensity in their stories. 10. Demon Slayer, Infinity Castle. And to wrap things up, we've got Demon Slayer, Infinity Castle. Even though it's a movie, it absolutely deserves a place here. This arc brings some of the most intense battles of the entire franchise, with breathtaking animation and emotional moments that had fans around the world on the edge of their seats. The Infinity Castle setting is stunning, full of detail and grandeur that elevates the entire experience. The fights against the top-ranked demons are spectacular, not just visually, but also emotionally. This movie shows why Demon Slayer remains one of the biggest anime phenomena of the modern era and a fantasy highlight of 2025. And that's our top 10 fantasy anime of 2025, a list that shows just how much the genre keeps growing and reinventing itself, from dark and epic stories to lighthearted and creative adventures. Now I want to know, which of these have you already watched, and which ones just made it onto your watch list after this video? Drop your answers in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to Zen Otaku, and ring the bell so you don't miss any new content. Here we're all about anime curiosities, lists, and deep dives for true fans. Thanks for sticking with me until the end, and I'll see you in the next adventure into the world of anime.